Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have the Montegrappa, and this is the Extra Otto in the pearl grey. We have a Montegrappa and this is an Extra 1930 in the striped zebra. We have an Anoto, this is the Rosetta stone. We have another Anoto and this is the Magna Carta. We have a Danitrio and this is the Moonlit grass. We have a Danitrio and this is the ancient dragon. We have a Danitrio bamboo story. We have a Danitrio Chinkin. We have a Krusac Legends 16 in the Dragon Slayer, and we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens, and this is the Demostones in Sapphire. So I think let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So this is really a stunning Montegrappa Extra Otto, and I always thought that the Extra Ottos were actually smaller than the Extra 1930, but the Extra Ottos can actually be a bit larger in terms of girth, purely because it's a faceted cap and faceted body, whereas typically the Extra 1930 is actually more round or cylindrical. I do like the Extra Ottos, and since I got this one, I am really loving it. It has the same nib as the Extra 1930, same size nib, although you can get some Asian models that do. I think a Korean model springs to mind that will actually have number 6 size nibs instead of a number 8 size nib. So bear that one in mind. But this is a beautiful material. It's this pearl grey, which is a little bit like the material that Omos used. I think it might have been called London Smoke. Very, very beautiful celluloid material. And I do love that very chunky cap band there as well. If I unscrew the cap, you'll see it's got a solid silver section. Will tarnish over time. You can polish it up. And it has a deeply recessed number 8 size Montegrappa nib there. It is a piston filling pen. It actually feels really nice, a nice weight in my hand. A little bit more, I'd say, back weighted slightly because of that piston mechanism. You can post the cap and it looks really nice, especially with that cap band, but it does make it a lot more back weighted. So again, it's not something I normally do. I don't normally post caps, but if I do, it would be on a smaller pen. It is a piston pen. It's not a cartridge converter, and I have to say that honestly, I might actually start looking for some more Montegrappa Extra Ottos, because I am actually starting to like those a little bit more than the Extra 1930s, which I do like as well, but I'm just starting to like it a little bit more. The next one here is the Montegrappa Extra 1930. Again, silver trims, large cap band, celluloid, and again, you've got 1912 there. This is a celluloid material. It's the striped zebra, and I have to say this is a beautiful chatoyance going on there. This is something I do like about celluloid material or celluloid pens. Again, a very similar size. It's just slightly thinner to the Extra Otto there, but it is a nice pen. Again, solid silver section there. Again, a number 8 size Montegrappa nib. And you've got an ebonite feed there as well. Very contoured ebonite feed. It's a piston filling pen. Again, a pretty decent size in my hand. You can post the cap, but it won't post further down over the piston knob. So if you're going to twist that, you are going to twist the piston knob. So again, I don't post caps, but I know a lot of people do. So, and I know for some people, a pen that will not post the cap is a deal breaker, and although it's not for myself, it is for some people. So I know some of you do have to post your caps. The next pen here is, again, I had this inked up last week. This is the Anoto Rosetta Stone. And you can see here the amount of engraving of the hieroglyphs from the Rosetta Stone into that cap there. You can also see the Rosetta Stone there on the yellow gold plated cap band, and likewise all of the hieroglyphics here on the body engraved, and how fine these are as well. It is a really, really stunning pen. I am in awe. I was able to pick this up and add it to my collection. Number 7 size nib there, and that is an Anoto gold nib. And I believe Anoto use Yovo nibs. At least they used to. I think they still do. Now, I picked this one up in June or July this year, 2022. In October 2021, I picked up its sibling, which is the Anoto Magna Carta. And I honestly thought I would not own one of these Anoto Magna Cartas, let alone that and the Rosetta Stone. But sometimes you get a deal that is almost impossible to shake, and you look at the deal and you just think, yes, it's an expensive pen, and yes, I really want it. And that's what happened with the Anoto Magna Carta, but also with the Rosetta Stone. So for me, again, a beautiful pen. So this has got a rose gold, sort of old, like tarnish like look to it. So you'll see here it says on the cap band Magna Carta 1215, and then you'll see here all of the inscription there of the Magna Carta. It's not all of the inscription, but you get to see a fair amount of inscription there on the cap, and also on the body there with the coat of arms as well. Beautiful pen, and I have to say I absolutely love it. So again, like the Rosetta Stone, metal section or silver section, number 7 size Anoto nib there. These are ABS plastic feeds. The Anotos are these ones are cartridge converter. I think you might be able to. They do a sort of a vac filling sort of piston that you can have on some pens. I think you can only have it on the plastic or the acrylic pens, the resin pens. I don't think you can do it in the metal, from what I recall when I reviewed another Anoto pen a number of years ago. But that may have changed. I don't know. Maybe I should check with Anoto and see what they say on that one. But that would have to be done at the factory. You wouldn't be able to retrospectively fit a vac mechanism yourself. The next pen here is a Danitrio, and this is a Takumi Moonlit Grass in Aka Tamenuri. I do like Aka Tamenuri. This is a beautiful, beautiful material. It is Urushi. It's an ebonite pen with Urushi lacquer, Maki-e here. So you've got a beautiful moon shining down, lighting the moonlit grass there. Absolutely stunning pen. It's a Takumi model. I wasn't, to be honest, previously a fan of the clips being painted and Urushi'd, because I always thought that they would probably chip off, but this hasn't. It's a perfect clip, and I like how that clip sweeps as well. So beautiful pen, and if I unscrew, this is a cartridge converter, you'll see the artist signature there, also with some stars, and it has got the Danitrio number 6 size fireball nib there, and you can see in the size of my hand, cartridge converter pen, ebonite. It's ebonite typically can be fairly light, but not. I would say it's not lighter than resin by much. By the time you add layers and layers and layers, probably 7 or more layers of Urushi lacquer to it, you are actually adding weight to it. So uh, I would say that they're probably around about the same weight as a resin pen, these ebonite Urushi lacquered pens. The next pen I have inked up here is again another Danitrio, and this is the Ancient Dragon. And I have seen, I'm pretty sure I'd seen this a couple of times. I saw it on Bryant's website, Chatterley Luxuries, at one point, and then I saw this at the London Pen Show in March 2022, and it was on John Foy's table. I know John does buy a lot from Chatterley, so it wouldn't surprise me if he'd actually bought this from Chatterley. It's a beautiful pen. I have to say I love it. When I saw it, I decided I just had to have it. So you have the beautiful dragon here. You have the flowers. You can even see this beautiful cloud here, and all of this you can actually feel. Beautiful work of art. I really do like it. And if I unscrew the cap, it's got a lot of threads to it. But it has a number 6 size Danitrio Fireball nib, and that's a medium nib. This actually, again, cartridge converter writes beautifully. So again, I have that one inked up with me as well. Again, a lot of threads to that. I know that sometimes puts people off. It doesn't really put me off of a pen. It just means that you've got to go that extra mile trying to unscrew the cap and screw the cap back on again. The next pen here is a pen that I added. I need to go back and check my pen database, but I want to say it was 2018, maybe 2019. I think it must have been 2018 or 2019 for sure. This is the Danitrio, and this is the Bamboo Story. And beautiful pen, picked up from John Twist. He actually has a number of Urushi pens on his table. So there are a number of people at the UK pen shows that will have Urushi, for sure. One of them is Sarge Minhas, the one-man pen show. Another is John Foy at St John's Pens. And then the final one typically will be John Twist of Twist Pens, but also Tweako. So John Twist and Vince Coates, Vince from the the Northumbrian Pen Company, and also Turner's Workshop, together form Tweako. And Tweako will actually have on their table some Urushi pens. So it's always good to try and check them out. Typically they will be a little bit more of a reasonable price, I would say. Very, very nice Urushi pens. So this is the Bamboo Story, and I love this because it does look like a bamboo cane, and you can really feel the difference here. You've got these concave parts of that bamboo. Really, really nice. If I unscrew the cap there, you'll see a very large number 8 size Danitrio nib there. It is a eyedropper pen, so it holds a huge amount of ink. It is a massive pen. You can't really post the cap. It's not designed to do so. You do have a shut-off valve here that you can unscrew, and I'm not going to unscrew it too much because I don't want to burp ink out all over my tray. But this is a beautiful pen. Again, I have it inked up with me this week, and I really do like it. The next pen was another Danitrio pen I picked up from John Twist, and this was at the London Pen Show in March 2022. This is a Chinkin. Again, it's another Takumi, so same as this model here in the Moonlit Grass. But this is a lovely etched Chinkin. Beautiful, beautiful pen. And you can see varying colours there on that Chinkin inscribed. And then it's just beautiful. So you can see the colours changing there. and then you've got varying colours here on the leaves, just absolutely stunning. So again, it's an ebonite pen, Urushi lacquered over Chinkin. It's got a number 6 size Danitrio fireball nib, and it's a cartridge converter pen. You can, if you want, post caps. I typically don't post them because I don't want to mark the Urushi finish. Urushi is quite hard, so in theory, it's probably more difficult to scratch a Urushi pen than it is maybe just a flat black ebonite pen, or even maybe like a Mont Blanc precious resin pen. But I still prefer not to post these caps because I try not to scratch my pens as much as possible. Another pen which I do have to be careful on is this one. It is the Ryan Krusac Legend 16. This is the Dragon and the Slayer. You can just see there, that is awesome amount of detail. So this is a pen made out of a wood cap, and you can see there it does have dragon scales on it. The body is antler and it's laser etched with a drawing that Ryan Krusac has drawn himself. Beautiful, beautiful pen, and it's a cartridge converter. It's a number 6 size Yovo nib with RK Ryan Krusac engraved onto that nib. Really, really good size. The cap isn't really designed to post, but it will do, just not deeply or securely. You can also see there you've got Ryan Krusac's signature and 99 of 150. So this is a beautiful pen, and so glad. I've been wanting a Ryan Krusac pen for ages. I want to say probably 4 years maybe, and I just, with Ryan being in the US and me being in the UK, it's just never really worked out. I've bought pens from the US. I've had custom made pens from Eric at Tellialuso. I've had custom made pens from Sean at the London Pen Company in Canada. I've bought a lot of my Viscontis previously, my earlier collection, from Chris at Truffet in the US as well. But for some reason, I just haven't been able to pick up, or haven't wanted to pick up, a Ryan Krusac pen until now. So I have that in my collection, really loving it, and it makes me want to have a few more of these as well. The next pen I have, and it's the last pen I have, which is inked up, getting a little bit low on ink, is the Visconti, and this is the Homo Sapiens Demostone in Sapphire. So it has this Demostone there on the cap finial, standard Visconti bridge clip. It is a Homo Sapiens. It's a power vac. It's a double reservoir. It's got the hook safe lock mechanism. This time though, it has a 14 karat gold nib. It's a medium nib there, and I have to say I wasn't really enamored by the design on that nib to start with. However, it has been growing on me. I do love Visconti Homo Sapiens because you have a slight concave section. It's very comfortable, and I do like the hook safe lock mechanism as well for quick capping and uncapping of the pen. So I have that one inked up with me this week as well. So I think with that, let's go and do a writing sample. So the first pen here is the Montegrappa Extra Otto, and we'll do an ink swatch. And I do find that this writes quite wet, quite nice. So this is the Montegrappa Extra Otto, and it is a medium, and it is an 18 karat gold nib, and the ink in here is Venvistus, and it is a London Fog, which is a really, really nice grey ink and starting to actually become, I want to almost say, my second favourite, if not maybe even my favourite colour ink for grey. The next pen here is the Montegrappa Extra 1930, and this is in the striped zebra. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now this also is a medium nib as well, but I find it writes a little bit more on the finer side. So this is a Montegrappa Extra 1930, and it's the striped zebra, and it is a medium, again 18 cat gold nib, and then the ink in here is diamine grape, which is a very, very dark colour. I'd almost say it's supposed to be more of a dark purple, but I almost find it turns out to be almost black. It's quite a dark colour. The next pen inked up is an Anoto, the Rosetta Stone. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now this is a fine nib, but also quite a nice writing nib as well. So this is the Anoto, and it is the Rosetta Stone, and it is a fine, and it is an 18 cat gold nib, and the ink in here is Pilot Owashizuku, and it is Kiri Sami, which is a very nice grey ink, quite a water resistant ink as well. The next pen is the Anoto Magna Carta, and we'll do an ink swatch. And you'll see here basically a number of different grey coloured inks, so you'll be able to see the difference on these. So this is the Anoto Magna Carta in a fine, again 18 cat gold nib, and then the ink in here is diamine grey. But you can actually see a difference there between grey ink. So you've got the Venvistus London Fog. Diamine Grape really isn't a grey ink, but you can see here the Pilot Owashizuku Kirisami is a very light sort of graphite colour, sort of pencil colour. And then you've got the Diamine Earl Grey, which honestly I would have to say that these two inks are pretty much similar. I would say that Diamine Earl Grey is got a little bit more blackness to it maybe than Venvistus London Fog, but not a huge amount. The next pen inked up is a Danitrio, and this is the Takumi Moonlit Grass. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now this has a fine nib. I'd say it writes a little bit more like a medium, but it does have a slight fineness to it. So this is the Danitrio Moonlit Grass, and it is a fine 18 cat gold nib. Now the ink in here is diamine poppy red. Now, I say it's fine, but look at that. You can get quite a bit of line variation out of that nib. Is it a flex nib? I'll let you decide on whether or not that is a flex nib or not, but you can get quite a bit of flex out of that nib. The next pen inked up here is another Danitrio, and this is the Ancient Dragon. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see here, this is a bit of a more of a medium nib than a fine nib. It's a Danitrio, and it is the Ancient Dragon. It is a medium, and it is an 18 karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is also Diamine Poppy Red. And you'll see that this is a darker version here than this one here. And you can find that in different nibs, different pens, that one ink may write slightly differently. Now, in terms of the flex on this one, you can get probably about the same amount of flex out of that nib. It just requires you to push it a little bit more. The next pen is the Danitrio, and this is a Bamboo Story. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see here that this is a fine nib. So this is a Danitrio Bamboo Story, and it is a fine, again, 18 karat gold nib. And then again, the ink in here is Diamine Poppy Red, and you really can't push that fine nib. It's a number 8 size nib. Typically, I have known number 8 size nibs to push quite well, but that one is quite a more of a rigid nib. The next pen here is the Danitrio Chinkin. So we'll do an ink swatch. Now, this is a number 6 size nib, and just like the Moonlit Grass, this has a mega bouncy nib or flexi nib. So this is the Danitrio, and it is the Chinkin, and it is a fine, and it is an 18 karat gold nib, and the ink in here is Pilot Oshizuku, and it is Inner Ho. And in terms of the line variation, that's a fine line. You can really push that nib, and that nib will push more than what the Danitrio Moonlit Grass will push to in terms of flex. The next pen is a Ryan Krusac Legends 16 in the Dragon Slayer. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see there again, this is, although it's a medium nib, it does write a little bit more fine to me. So this is the Ryan Krusac Legends 16 in the Dragon Slayer, and it is a medium still Yovo nib. And then the ink in here is Noodler's Apache Sunset, soon to become Southwest Sunset. And then the last pen here is a Visconti Homo Sapiens Demostones in Sapphire. So we'll do an ink swatch. And you can see there that quite a nice writing nib. So this is the Visconti, Homo Sapiens, Demostones in Sapphire. And it is a medium, and this is the 14 karat gold nib from Visconti. And then the ink in here is Visconti turquoise, which to me actually is fast becoming my favourite turquoise coloured ink. The ink just flows beautifully. It's a wet ink in terms of lubrication, I want to say. Beautiful, beautiful writing and a beautiful colour ink as well. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. So we have a Montegrappa Extra Otto in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Venvistus London Fog. We have a Montegrappa Extra 1930 striped zebra in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Grape. We have an Anoto Rosetta stone in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pilot Iroshizuku Kirisami. We have an Anoto Magna Carta in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Danitrio Moonlit Grass in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Poppy Red. We have a Danitrio Ancient Dragon in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Poppy Red as well. We have a Danitrio Bamboo Story in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Poppy Red again. We have a Danitrio Chinkin in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pilot Iroshizuku Inaho. We have a Ryan Krusac Legend 16 Dragon Slayer in a medium steel nib inked up with Noodler's Apache Sunset. And we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Demostones Sapphire in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with Visconti Turquoise. So there you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.